Andre, with Kylin out, how did your role change or how did your approach change kind of come into this game, especially defensively?
Yeah, I mean, Kylin was going to be on court for the majority of the game if he weren't out, so I knew that making that a focal point of my my preparation and my mindset going into this game. I know I had to make his game as hard as I could for him to make really hard shots. So I think we did a good job as a team, jumping in the gaps, and executed the game plan.
Andre, after maybe making a couple early threes, did that open up the floor a little bit for you? Because it seemed like after that you kind of got to the rim whenever you wanted.
Yeah, I think it does for all of us. We got multiple guys that can shoot and drive at the same time, so making shots early opens the floor for everybody else as well. So it just happened to be me today. And yeah, the floor opened up as soon as we had 5 guys that were making shots consistently.
David, yesterday you talked about everybody needed to step up without Kylin. What would that look like for you throughout the course of the day and going into this game?
I mean, as I said tomorrow, everybody got to step up. Everybody do something a little more than they did before, trying to fight for balls, get down for loose balls, to talk more, play harder defense, and that's what we're gonna keep doing even on practices, trying to prepare for future,
I guess for both of you, you guys had a big run to close the first half, especially defensively. What would you guys feel was working so well in that run?
Just all of us being on the same page. Obviously, Adams came out the game playing very aggressive. We knew Coit was going to come out very aggressive. The last 2 games he's been phenomenal. So just to match the energy and exceed their energy as well. And I feel like we did that, especially late in the first half. And we just kept the momentum going.
Andre, Brad, it's been on you at times about rebounding. When you came here, thought you could be a defender. How have you grown in those areas, and how important is it for you now to show that with Kyle now?
Yeah, I think the trust that we've built and the connection we've built so far in the season, and to have a guy as important as Kylin out, him being able to trust me to go out the other team's best scorer, it means a lot to me, and showing him that I can do it is something I'm taking pride in. So,
Andre, way in the back, I think a majority of the shots that you guys took as a team in the first half were threes. Was that the plan coming in? And then I guess how good did it feel for you to see a bunch of those go down?
No, the plan is just to see the ball go in. We don't care where it's coming from. We know we got guys that can shoot all over the floor. So it just happened to be threes tonight. There are games where we get a lot of paint points out the gate. So that just shows the skill we have.
Andre first, and then David, if you could. We've seen the last 2 teams have zoned you guys a little bit more. Where do you feel like you're at with your zone offense and adapting when teams do that?
Yeah, just like you said, keep adapting as we see it more often. 2 straight games we've seen a good amount of zone, so we keep getting better at it. We keep getting better shots for our team the more we see it. And it's just something that we're going to continue to grow in. We're going to see it more probably this year. We may not. Who knows? But we're going to figure it out.
I mean, when we get the ball to the post, when they play zone, I think every time we find a decision, especially with Z being there, I have easy lob every time, or trying to make a floater or opposite side to pass. So I think we're just trying to get the ball to the post, and we have easy decision every time.
David, Jake made 4 threes tonight. During pregame warm-ups, he made 58 straight from the corner. Just where does he kind of rank as maybe a shooter you've played with?
I mean, I played with a lot of good shooters. I would say Fletcher McGee is maybe the only one better shooter I played with. He's just incredible. Those shots, he just probably every time I pass to him, I feel that he makes that shot, and I'm pretty safe passing the ball to him and getting one more assist.
Andre, just following up on that, Jake, minutes increased, obviously, his role increases. What's the value of Jake? What's he give you guys?
Yeah, besides the fact that he's a phenomenal shooter, he gets us into actions quickly. When the ball is getting stagnant, it's something that we've had to uncover for ourselves to get the ball moving more. And I think he does that at a very high level. Whether he's off the ball, just come sets, blurs, hooks for us. We emphasize screening variety, and he does that for us when he's in the game. So, it's great to have him on the team.
Andre, for you, when you have bigs like David and Tommy who can pass in the way they do, especially against zone, what's that allow for you guys offensively when your bigs can move the ball in the way that they can?
Yeah, I mean, when we have bigs that can move the ball and shooters on the outside that can also drive, it makes the offense so much easier for us. And the connection we've built as a team, having David in the high post and Tommy down low, it's hard to beat it when you're running a zone against us. So we're extremely comfortable giving it to him in the high post every possession, and we trust him to make the right choice, whether it's kicking it out, shooting the floater he has, or dumping it down to Tommy.
Andre, obviously with Kylin out, that's missing a big veteran leader on your team. How do you feel like you kind of stepped up as more of like an upperclassman, like vocal leader today, just maybe leading some of the younger guys without Kylin today?
Yeah, for those who know me, I've never really been the most vocal on teams I've been on. I've kind of been, in people's ears about advice and stuff. But, Kylin, even though he's out, he's still that vocal leader on the team, and everyone stepped up. Everyone was pitching in the huddles. And it's never just one guy. But it just happens to be Kylin that, we consider to be the most vocal guy. So, it was nice to have everybody involved and vocal.
David in the back, I'm curious, in Europe, did you see more or less zone? Like, how much zone have you played against in your career?
I mean, not really that much, and like most of the time that was like not that much organized zone. Like 3 guys would play zone or 2 guys would play man, and like it wasn't that organized as it's now. But like I still played against zone, try to learn to score against zone and all that. So I'm adjusted to that.
Andre, I mean, obviously you guys had to adapt without Kylin, but how important was it that maybe things didn't really change that much for you guys? I mean, you still did a lot of the same things to get a win like this.
Yeah, when Kylin exited practice, the intensity, the mindset of the team, the energy, it all stayed the same. The preparation stayed the same. Last 2 days, we've been incredibly focused on the task that was today. Next 2 days, I feel confident that we'll be incredibly focused on the task on Saturday. It doesn't change our focus. Yes, it hurts to have somebody like that out, but we have the trust in each other to compete at the highest level we can.
Andre, when you came out of the game, it looked like you were stretching your arm. What were you dealing with, and how are you feeling from that?
Yeah, just a bump on the nerve, nothing serious. At this point, we got stuff wrong with us every game, so we just got to move on.
Andre, I hear it's your mom's first trip here
Yeah.
today. We ask all the time about your dad. Like, what's her impact been, and what's it been like for her to see your new home here?
Man, she's the most important person in my life by far. She's the peacemaker in my life. It's so nice to have her here last couple days, and coach was like, we should, if I'm gonna play defense like that, we should have her here more often. But no, it's amazing to see her here. She hasn't seen me play in a long time, so it's so wonderful for me.
Yeah, it's a game where you kind of don't know what to expect going in when you're minus a vital piece and Kylin, guy with so much experience. The start with Jake worked out great, and I think it was Andre's probably best all-around game, I'm going to say for sure here, maybe in his career. We kind of challenge him. We use the term, you got to be a 1A defender now. And, instead of a 1B, but he stepped up to that challenge. A young man that had 43, and coming off a heater, attempting 15 threes a game. He made the first one, which I thought he almost blocked, and then just really did a nice job after that, and settled in and worked. And it's amazing when you worry about defense, how offense finds you. And I thought we did a really nice job moving the ball. Thought we did a really nice job, Mirk and Tommy, Ben in the middle of the zone, and we have some guys who can make shots. And so when you start spreading that thing out with Jake and Ben and obviously Dre got going, and Keaton's a 42% 3-point shooter who kind of had a tough night, but you still have to respect him. And just a really solid night, both ends. I thought defensively, obviously 25-4 run in the half. Defensively, I thought we were really, really solid in that stretch.
Brad, like you said, this was Andre's best all-around game. Can you talk about how he's developed as a defender since coming to Illinois?
Yeah, I think the one thing you have to understand when you win is there's no plays off. There's no days off. And in this league, if you do that, you get beat. And I was really frustrated with the first start of the year because I didn't get to grind on him. I didn't get to just demand and get after it with him defensively. And I've always known he was a capable scorer, but what do you do the 95% of the time when you don't have the ball, and what do you do on the other? That's what relates to winning. And I didn't get a grind on him, so he's taken coaching at a really, really high level. He's had to do it on the fly. He's had to learn, have a lot expected of him. I mean, maybe more than he's even expected from himself in some cases, but I couldn't be happier. Unbelievable teammate, great listener, unbelievable listener, and a terrific learner. He wants to learn. He wants to do the other things. And you throw in the 9 rebounds tonight from a kid that in bye games couldn't get a rebound. So he's turning into one heck of a terrific player.
Brad, that's the most minutes Jake has played in a Big Ten game. What's his value for him on the court, especially in his second year here?
Yeah, he never shuts up. He's our leader. He's always talking. He's very high IQ, so he understands what teams are doing. He's calling out actions. He's constant communication with his teammates. And then the fact that, I think he made 58 in a row today. He can shoot it, makes balls. And you better not leave him open, and if you do, you're gonna pay. And then he does everything we ask by offensive rebounding, guarding. He's really good in gaps. He's just turned into a heck of a college basketball player.
With his athleticism and length, was Andre one of your main focal points after Kylin's injury, especially being matched up against a guy who scored 73 points in his last 2 games? Or was it more of a group effort where he just happened to be the guy tonight?
No, it's him. It's going to be him for a lot of nights. And, he's got to want to accept that challenge. He's got to want to expect that from himself. And know going in that there's got to be a focus there. Defense should be easy. Defense is just effort and a desire and a want to. And I'm gonna do this. And then it's my job to make doggone sure that he's ready to do that and demand that he does it. And he's got all the tools to be an outstanding defender.
How important was that what this team does didn't really change without Kylin? Because it seemed like did a lot of the same things to get this one that you did the previous 7.
Yeah, offensively we're easy. Offensively we're a team that's capable of moving pieces, and the parts are interchangeable. And we slid Andre to the point late, just to look at that, and we took Keaton out, and that keeps us very big, and so that piece is easy. But the only thing with Z getting 2 fouls early, I wanted to play bigger, longer. I didn't get to do that, but I think we have some advantages in size, and I was curious to see tonight how that would look. But I thought everybody stepped up and played just fine in Kylin's absence.
During that 25-4 run at the end of the first half, what do you think maybe changed defensively that led to just a complete dominant end to the first half that led into the second?
I think it was I thought they hit some pretty hard shots. We're always good with forcing teams into hard contested twos. I think Adams got one downhill layup, and I thought for the most part all of Coit's were pretty contested, and he had to work for them. I thought we did a really nice job on Saunders throughout. We didn't let him get going in the first half. But I think we kept the same intensity and focus. They just missed. And then the biggest part of that, we held one of the best offensive rebounding teams in the country to basically nil for them. I mean, we held them 9 offensive rebounds. So, and that allowed us to get going in transition. So,
it's a second straight opponent that's played a lot of zone against you guys. What do you feel like has allowed your offense to be so successful against it and execute the way they have?
Good players who can shoot. I think that we run a variety of offenses. We don't change our man and zone offenses very much. So there's nice continuity there. We've got guys who in the high post in the middle of a zone can really pass it and really score it. And, it's been, tonight was probably less clunky than the other night, just simply because we had seen it a little more.
Coach, you in the back, you and Buzz, it seemed like talk for longer than usual time in the handshake line. It appeared, correct me if I'm wrong, friendly. Can you share what was said there?
No, it was nasty. No, it was. I've known Buzz a long time. Back when I was a junior college coach, and I think he was an assistant at A&M, and even beyond that, we've known each other a long time. And he was just talking about how different this team is compared to my SFA teams, and style of play and changing and all of that. So it was just it was a nice, friendly conversation. And everywhere Buzz has gone, he's won. He finds success, and so it's very friendly, and he's a guy I consider a friend.
Brad, with zone, how much does David and Tommy and their ability to pass out of that high post unlock ways to break the zone?
It's huge. I mean, I always go back to the Oakland game last year with Tommy in the middle. I mean, he just shot little 12-footers and can pass it, and you have to guard them in there. And then, we figured they were going to play some zone. That's one of the reasons I wanted to look at double big, because you can put Z in a dunker spot and just play above people. And when you've got Jake and Ben and Andre on the wings, pick your poison. So, it's an advantage to have guys like that.
Brad, when Kylin gets injured, can you take me, where do you guys do as a staff? What do you look at? What do you kind of talk about to figure out, especially defensively, where you want to go?
Yeah, I think my first reaction is just pit in my stomach, not for the basketball, for Kylin. I mean, he's a senior. It's the I know how hard he's worked and how good he's playing. We'll survive the basketball. I mean, we'll figure that out. We always have, whether it was Kyle, whether it was Kofi, whether it was, you just go TJ, whatever it is, we'll figure the basketball out. And then it's just, okay, what do we want to become, and what are the minor tweaks that we're going to make that doesn't throw us into a complete overhaul type mode. And I always go back to when we were without TJ, we made changes that we never got away from when he came back, and we just got better defensively when he came back. But the offensive changes were ended up being great for us and helped us. So, you know, you're just sick. I'm just still, I get a knot in my stomach for Kylin, and you know, he's going to have surgery tomorrow, and so I'll get it penned and plated, and then the next 3 to 4 weeks we'll look forward to getting him back.
Brad, piggybacking on that, as you look to replace Kylin moving forward, how matchup based will you be in finding those minutes? And
Maybe. We'll see. I liked what I saw tonight, but I think that every team's got poses different problems, and we got to figure out some of those solutions, and you know what that looks like. You know, we're getting ready to play a stretch here where you get, you know, a lot of double bigs, and we're playing that anyway with Mirk, but you know, just see what that looks like. I don't have a great answer for you, Brad. I just, you know, I think we'll look at it. We know we've got a very steady guy in Kylin who, you know, I called the problem solver because he could guard just about anybody on the court. So I hope Andre can become that.
You look at Keaton, you mentioned an off shooting night, and he still is nearly with a triple-double. I mean, even when he's, for a freshman to have that kind of impact, even when he's not on as a shooter, what's that further tell you about, I'm assuming what you already knew?
Is he good? I mean, you know, it's very hard to do what he does. And, you know, he's guarding a really talented player in Adams all night. He's doing it at that end. His rebounding, his, you know, assist total. Yeah, I mean, that young man's going to make a lot of shots the rest of the season. So he was due for an off night. But if that's his off night, sign me up right now, because the greatest players in college basketball would beg for a night like that.
Andre had a couple mid-range jumpers, made the first in the first half, and the second half didn't. Seem like that one maybe generated a conversation when he came.
Yeah, why? Why would you take that? We don't take those shots. And we live for what we call gold medal shots, which are uncontested threes and layups. And, you know, and the thing was, he was tired. And so he settled for that one, and he didn't have to settle. And that's the one that we've been working with, because we want him to get fouled on that play, not just fade and take the path of least resistance. We want him to jump stop and get fouled and go to the free throw line when you're a 90% free throw shooter. Go make them. Thank you.